So we're on the verge of starting a Yamantaka retreat. And so therefore, one, of course, having a good motivation. The idea would be is that I would love to have better capacity, better clarity in my life, what is important and not important. And so therefore, thank you very much to Buddha Shakyamuni. Thank you very much to Manjushri for your manifestation of Yamantaka. Yamantaka is the Buddha of wisdom, but in this case, quite aggressive. Why? Because our delusions are very intense. Shantideva says it so well. He says, how is it that my delusions, my anger, or my desire has no arms, it has no legs, but it pushes me around as if I'm a weakling, and that's our desire. So it's important to say, okay, Yamantaka has the capacity to do battle with my delusions and to take away their power. So when we identify and do the practice of Yamantaka, and especially a retreat, what we're doing is we're putting emphasis to saying, I have more capacity than my delusions. Now, the anger of Yamantaka, and my teachers always said, the anger of Yamantaka is aimed at my stupid mind. That's the objective. So when you think of the anger of Yamantaka, his four fangs, the flames, the fire coming out of his nostrils and everything like that, that's all to burn and to destroy my stupid mind that makes bad decisions, like that. So that when you do the practice and you're sort of and allow yourself to be really angry, not angry in the sense of thing, but you manifest this incredibly intensive energy. And the object is my stupid mind that makes mistakes, okay, my delusions, okay, and the thing. So because it's not like, we don't have a nature that is only deluded. We don't have a nature that is only with attachment or anger. We have lots of natures, and that's why we are not self-existent. And although our personality might have a strong trait to be angry or possessive or attached, it's just an influence. It's a familiarity that we've developed. So we invite Yamantaka into us to clear away negative familiarity. So that's why the anger of Yamantaka is aimed at the delusions, which we've allowed to become dominant by not understanding properly. And also, one really important thing of Yamantaka, it is the what's called the 9-round death or the 9 rounds of meditation on impermanence. Death is definite, time is indefinite, and what helps at the time of death. That's your standard meditations that come out of the graduated path. So Yamantaka represents that, for example, if you look at my possessions, they're all going to disappear one day. In fact, what I think is so special, someone else when I die is going to take it and throw it in the garbage. So don't overvaluate, don't over exaggerate your possessions. They're impermanent. Yamantaka gives me that clarity. Now, we can use possessions to create good karma, to do lots of good things, to live well, to eat good food so that we're healthy. That's all good, but the thing is not with attachment. They're not with an exaggeration. So this Yamantaka helps me put possessions in the proper position. Then relationships. All relationships are impermanent, but it's not what I'm getting from a relationship, it's what I'm offering. So Yamantaka gives me clarity in my relationships. I know that it's what I'm offering to people, it's not what I'm getting. It's who am I within the relationship? I am offering wisdom and compassion and peacefulness and things that are beneficial. So Yamantaka gives me the clarity to have a healthier relationship. And finally, my own body. My body, I bathe it and I exercise it and I feed it so well, and then the thing kills me in the end. It's my ticket to death is my own body. So Yamantaka says, hey, I'm going to use my body well in beneficial ways. Yes, I'm going to eat well and I'm going to exercise, but it's to be a positive person, to be more beneficial in the universe, to be a bodhisattva. So Yamantaka is really that wisdom of the correct way to deal with possessions, the correct way to have a relationship, the correct way to deal with my body. Now, when you do the practice and you've got lots of you're really thinking I'm really Yamantaka, I'm really aggressive, I've got all these flames around me, I've got all these weapons in my hands and things, okay, and you're doing that, then the object is my mind that is stupid, my mind makes bad decisions. Okay. Now, in doing that, then it's very, very common that you'll have quite a few dreams of violence. Okay, so like whether it's war scenes or criminals or something like that, but normally you're battling with them or there's battles going on, which is a very good sign that actually you're gaining some ability to fight with your own delusions. So if you have very, very aggressive and violent dreams, don't think it's bad, And the same thing, actually, it's so funny. Like if some people are vegetarian and they do an Anantara yoga retreat, for example, a Heruka or Yamantaka, and they'll dream of eating meat. And I think, oh God, I'm a vegetarian. I'm bad, Why am I eating meat, And yet in the dream you'll be eating meat and being really happy. Well, it's merely a sign of power. It's not about not being a vegetarian. That meat is a high protein. Now, maybe you might end up, if you're a really heavy duty vegetarian, you're eating tofu, but generally speaking, in dreams, especially with the practice of Tantra, it's going to be that you're eating meat. And that doesn't, or drinking alcohol, even if it's high protein, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person, that you're breaking precepts, or that you're no longer a vegetarian. That's all ridiculous. It's just, they are signs of power. Okay, so those things might happen. So that's just something. So main thing, okay, I am practicing Yamantaka to have greater personal ability to deal with my delusions. It's both to benefit myself and to benefit the people in my life and to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, Yamantaka is the destroyer of a mundane death. That's Yamantaka. Okay, and that means is that my mundane death is dying. There's actually called this thing in the short prayer, you, the supreme hero who enjoys the supreme objects, you help you work with the people that need help. That it refers to three things. It refers to dying under delusions, dying because of not being careful, like having a car accident or something like that. So Yamantaka makes you more mindful, so you will not die from that mundane death of an accident. The second one, you will not die under the power of your delusions. So, we all have delusions, but if you practice Yamantaka, you can eliminate death because of delusions. And the final one is that you will eliminate death with a dualistic mind. So in Buddhism, we have a non-dualistic mind. That means is that you become one with the ultimate. Okay, that's very important, that concept. And so therefore, Yamantaka destroys the dualistic mind. So Yamantaka destroys a lack of mindfulness that has an accident and causes me to die prematurely. Yamantaka destroys delusions, which would cause me to die prematurely. And then finally, Yamantaka destroys a dualistic mind that when I am dying, I can go to a non-dualistic experience. So as I do the Yamantaka retreat, I'm doing it for the benefit of myself, I'm doing it for the benefit of people in my life, and I will destroy those three types of mundane death, a mundane death of accidents, a mundane death of delusions, a mundane death of a dualistic mind, okay? So very good, so have that motivation. And when you're in retreat, if you're having a hard time, and this is really actually quite a good point, like when you love somebody, your mother, your father, a brother or a sister, how much would you do for them? Let's say if you were at home and the electricity failed and someone you're with, you love, your brother, sister, mother, father, grandmother or something, was suddenly deeply ill, and you have to walk to a drugstore to get medicine, and it's 3 miles or 5 kilometers away, you do it. You wouldn't say, oh, it's too far away, I'm sorry, you just get sick and die, I don't care, you do that, So when you're having a hard time in the retreat, you could do that with yourself. You can say, I'm doing this for my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, for someone that I love. And that's why I'm sitting here. So it's like I'm walking the 5 kilometers in the snow and in the rain to get a medicine for my person that I care for. When you put it in that context, you actually have more ability. Whereas if you think me, well, I'd rather die. I don't care. It's not important. Because we sort of have we have this sort of weak mind. But when we love somebody, we can create a lot of power, a lot of dedication. So I recommend that too. Is that as you're doing a retreat, if you have a hard day, then just know, okay, well, I'm doing this for more than myself, and then bring to mind someone you love, and then say, okay, well, I'm doing it for them, and then that might give you some extra strength. The final thing about retreats is it's cyclic. So you'll have some really good meditations, and then you'll have really lousy meditations, and then you have really good meditations, and then you'll have a lousy couple of days meditations, then you'll have a really good meditation. That's to be expected, and that can go from one day, a morning session was unbelievable, and the afternoon session was the hell realm. It was just so hard, and I was so miserable, and I was so unhappy. And then the evening session was bliss and happiness, and you were so good. That's totally common. If that happens, don't worry about it. Just know that things will change. Okay, it is said that about the third day of the retreat, sometimes we get sort of the biggest obstacle, saying, oh, like this is too much. So just know that maybe on the third or fourth day, you might have a bit more trouble. But by the time you get to the fifth or the sixth day, it's smooth sailing, you'll have a good time. And other than just sort of normal little problems, okay? So that's in regards to that it is cyclic, that you will have good and bad sessions. It's just fine. What's really good is you're doing this retreat for a month, which gives you lots of time to really go into your practice and to develop certain things about it. The final thing about mantra recitation, and this comes from Geshe Rapton, who was one of my main teachers. He said, you can focus on the mantra. You can focus on the mantra and the visualization. But at a certain point, if you get a little bit tired, you can you still do the mantra, but you just do it quietly. But you let your mind think about the Dharma or the meaning of your life or something like that. Generally, you want to think about the Dharma, like, I've got a good rebirth. I know what's important. I'm inspired by the Buddha Dharma Sangha. So you could do that as you're reciting the mantra. So although you're doing Omar Basnadi or Yamaraja, you can think about the Dharma or think about maybe Milarepa or any of the great gurus and stuff like that. That is acceptable. So when you're doing mantras, you can do with just the mantra, focus on it. You can do the mantra with the visualizations. Then you can do the mantra, but you're thinking about the graduated path to enlightenment or something like that. Okay. And then also you can do the mantra. And for example, if you go into your heart and you focus on that there's the whom and the syllables going around it and stuff like that. And so you really try to do that as you're doing Omar Basnadi or Yamaraja. Okay, that. Okay. The final sort of bit of information. If when you're doing the retreat, you get quite a bit of pain in your heart, and that sometimes happens, depends on the individual, then you need to go and let your mind come out of your body. So although there is quite a bit of emphasis on the mantras in your heart, and they're sending out the little Yamantaka's from your right nostril and coming back in your left nostril, that's the general visualization, that although you're doing that, if you do get what's called lung, but the point is, it means there's too much energy in the nervous system of your heart chakra, and it causes pain. So then you let your mind go big. You don't put your mind back in your body. And again, you relax a little bit, you do the mantra still, but you just relax everything. You don't be too intense. That's quite important because think of it this way. Your nervous system has nerve channels. And if you're not that developed, or if let's say you haven't done a lot of yoga or qigong or neigong or tai chi or something like that, where you've really opened up those channels, then it's like if you had a roadway that's skinny and you're trying to put really fast cars through it. It just doesn't work, If you've got a lot of practice under your belt, it's like you have an autopista, you have a big road, and then cars can go really fast because it's lots of space. So if you do get pain in doing the retreat, then just know that, okay, you're putting too much energy in nerve channels which are not open and developed enough yet. That's okay. Relax, let your mind come outside. Don't do the visualizations too much. As you say, you can recite the mantra more comfortably or casually, but the thing is, you don't do any of the visualizations. That will change. It's not that it happens every session, but it can happen in some sessions. That's the final bit of advice. So again, the main thing is I'm doing a retreat to gain more ability in my life. Thank you very much to Buddha Shakyamuni, to Manjushri, and then to Yamantaka, who's going to give me greater ability in my life. I'm doing this for more than myself. I'm doing this to gain a facet within my consciousness as being a Tantric Bodhisattva, of having confidence, ability, clarity, wisdom. That's what I'm doing in this retreat. So that concludes my practice of Yamantaka.